Today, we're going to take a look at the argumentative essay. You might ask, what is the argumentative essay? An argumentative essay is a piece of writing that uses evidence from a text to support a claim and to argue against a counterclaim. A claim is a statement that the author states to be true, so you as a writer need evidence from the article to prove it. A counterclaim, which is the opposite side, goes against your claim. An argumentative essay has two sides, which is the claim, and you guessed it, the counterclaim. This is like the pros and cons of a topic. For example, on the topic of animal testing, there are pros and cons to testing on animals. So your claim might be why it's acceptable to test on animals, and your counterclaim might be why it's unacceptable to test on animals. If we look over here, opinion writing focuses on one side. We want to be argumentative writers, so we're going to look at both sides and provide evidence to both claims. How is an argumentative essay different from a persuasive essay? Like a persuasive essay, you're trying to convince a reader to agree with you. However, you're not just focusing on one side of the debate in an argumentative essay. You'll write about your claim, your stance, and use two strong pieces of evidence to prove your answer. Remember, evidence is the strongest part of the essay. You will also write about your counterclaim, the position that opposes your stance, with one piece of evidence. You will also refute it, which means that you're simply explaining why it's not correct. Overall, you will be showing a complete picture of the topic, but give more support to your claim. So, if we take a look over here, notice that all parts of the persuasive essay are yellow. That's because it focuses just on the claim. If I look over here at the argumentative essay, it goes back and forth. That's because it focuses on the claim and the counterclaim. So you might ask, how do I write an argumentative essay? First, we want to read the prompt. Give us a purpose to our reading. This allows you to know your writing topic and informs you on what to focus on as you read. You're going to develop a claim based off the evidence in the article. Most importantly, you have to remember, stick to the article. Don't get off task and tell me things that don't have anything to do with the topic. So, after you develop the claim, this is the side you agree with, or what you believe is true. Remember, you need two pieces of textual evidence to support your claim. Then you're going to acknowledge the counterclaim, based off the evidence in the article. This is the side you disagree with, but remember, it still has some truth to it. On this side, you'll provide one piece of textual evidence to support your counterclaim. Notice these arrows right here? They're directly opposing each other. Our writing is going to end up here in the middle, but we're going to focus mostly on our claim. So if we look closer, we'll start to wonder, what is our claim and what is our counterclaim? Remember, you want to read the article first, look at the evidence before you decide. Your claim is your statement that you believe is correct. This is a debatable topic, so remember, there is no right answer, but that is also why we need to support it with textual evidence. That is how we prove that we're correct. To write a strong argumentative essay, you need to support your claim with evidence from the text. This will prove your reasoning and help the reader agree with you. When we look at our counterclaim, this is the opposing statement. As this is a debatable topic and we know that there's no right or wrong answer, we're going to find a strong piece of evidence and mention it in our writing. After, we will refute it. This means we're going to explain why it is not correct. So, if I look here at the bottom, I have a claim and counterclaim. It says animal testing is good for the world because it allows companies to test medicine without hurting humans. The counterclaim, on the other side, needs to be refuted. I'll look at a strong point and then say why it's not correct. While it is true that animals can get hurt or even die from animal testing, it is still necessary to test on animals because these medicines can help them as well. So what makes a strong argumentative essay? In your argumentative essay, you need to use evidence. I know I'm stressing it a lot, but it's that important. We're going to use that in our body paragraphs, which are paragraphs 2, 3, and 4. Remember, paragraph number 4 is going to be where you look at the other side. All evidence must come from the text, not movies you've seen or fun facts you know. After stating the evidence, you must explain how it makes your argument stronger. To do this, explain it in further detail to make it clear to the reader. You can expand upon it by connecting it to another point in the essay. Overall, you are proving why you are right by explaining your evidence. So it looks a bit like this. Notice that the first paragraph, you are introducing the topic and stating your claim. That might be part of your thesis. In body paragraph 1 and 2, you are explaining your claim is correct by using evidence. In body paragraph 3, you are stating a strong piece of evidence from the other side, and then explaining why your claim is stronger by refuting it. In the conclusion, you are simply restating everything that you have already mentioned in the essay. So as I said, right here, you start to address what the topic is about and your stance. 1, 2, you are stating your evidence and explaining how it makes your argument stronger. Number 3 right over here, you're just looking at the other side, explaining why it's a good piece of evidence, why it doesn't necessarily prove the point, and down here, you're just restating and ending on something thoughtful. So remember, citing the text is crucial. On the left, you see citing the paragraph. We want to be very specific. So if you could cite the paragraph, that's better than anything else. You might say, in paragraph blank of the article entitled blank, the author stated that. An example from the text is from paragraph blank, when the author states, the text states blank in paragraph blank when, on page blank of the text in paragraph blank, it states that. We could also cite the page, based on the text entitled blank, on page blank, it states that. Based on that information in the article entitled blank, and so on. We could also cite an image. In the image on page blank, the graphic shows that. The chart on page blank declares that. So, using it in our writing, we might see something like this. In paragraph 3 of the article entitled Why Animal Testing Helps Americans, the author states that animals also benefit from medical tests, as the cures also work on them. Notice, I told you the paragraph, and then explained what it meant. Based on the text, entitled Animals Helping People, on page 2, it states that humans no longer get diseases that could have wiped out thousands as a result of animal testing. In the image on page 4, the graphic shows that only 25% of animals who are tested on have a fatal result. Then, citing the text, we want to refute. So, I'm going to put that right over here. Refute. We want to look at the other side and explain why it's wrong. So, I might say, admittingly, well, it might be true that. Well, some may argue that. Opponents on the other side of the topic will state. Then I want to explain why it's wrong. This is not the case because. That point is unimportant because. The idea is true, but not relevant because. So, in action, we have some examples over here. Admittingly, it may be true that many animals get hurt, but this is unimportant considering how many people are now free from disease. While some may argue that it is cruel to force animals to be tested on, this point is true, but not completely relevant as animals are safer now too. So, all in all, we want to make sure we're citing the text, using evidence, and explaining it. When it comes time to refute the other side, we want to be very clear about why our side is stronger. That is how you write a fantastic argumentative essay.